Well, let us see what is the next best thing that Blender has to offer us. So before starting anything, let us rest in peace this cube. May God bless it. So after that, what we can do is go to add, go to volume and import VDB. Let us see what actually is VDB. If we go to internet, let me show you that screen. Embergen. If you search for Embergen on the Google, you get this Embergen real-time fluid simulations. If you go to the download section, and here you get free VDB examples, and if you click on that, you get few files. These are the output of these files. This is a building implosion, this is a gasoline explosion, this is high res smoke plume, this is simple fire, this is a devil tornado and mid-air explosion. And what I had done is I have downloaded this file. If you click on download, it's going to download it, and when you download it, what we need to do is, let me switch this off, and in the Blender screen we will go to add, we will go to volume, and we will go to import OpenVDB. It's called volume database. What actually it is, let's open this, and then I will go to where I have saved it, gasoline explosion, and these are all these files. These are actually sequence like 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. The explosion is in the form of a sequence format. Let me select one file, then tap A on the keyboard to select all the files, and then click on import OpenVDB volume. At first it seems like nothing has happened, but if I drag this up, because we are having an image sequence, so at one we won't be able to find anything, but as we go forward you get this volume, and if I click on this volume and click on numpad full stop, this is the volume, this is the explosion in 3D, complete explosion in 3D. Isn't it wonderful? It's great actually. Let me just blow your mind in a few moments. I am typing G and Z to move it in the Z axis, and let us scale this thing a little bit smaller, G and Z, and bring it to the bottom, and this is the explosion. It was huge, so I scaled it down. Tap yes and move your mouse. So after this, what we will do is, if we go to this object data properties, you get some properties. It starts with, in this grid section, density, flames, temperature. Now what density, flames and temperature is, let me take this image sequence, volume database sequence to a point where it is about to vanish, to this point. Oh my god, just a little bit over here, just when it is about to get vanished. What I want to show you is, it has density. Density is one of the parameters which you can colorize or change. Flames is another parameter in the same database file, and temperature is one more database in the same temperature file. What it actually means is, I have got three kinds of volume into one file in an image sequence. Three kinds of files in one image sequence in one file. That's what I am trying to say. How you can utilize it and how you can harvest something beautiful out of it. How much detail do you want it? Do you want it to have a coarse detail, means the detail is not that good, and fine is detail very good. So I will keep it on coarse so that my computer won't get sluggish. So after that, what we will do is, we will go to material, and now we will give a new material to this option. And because this is a volume, Blender automatically places volume in your file. What it actually means is, if I go to shading, it has provided a principal volume node, and it has different attributes like color. If you want, you can change the color. We will be seeing each and every one of this, and I am actually viewing this entire thing from the layout tab over here. Color attribute, density attribute, emission color, black body intensity, the same things are here. Emission strength, emission color, black body intensity, color attribute, the same thing we are seeing from here. What I want to show you is, if we go to black body intensity and punch it up to 1, and in the renders tab, in the render property window, I take cycles, and if I go to realistic viewport shading, this is the smoke. If I click somewhere else, we are actually seeing smoke inside the viewport of Blender. So Blender now supports OpenVDB files. What it actually means is, these are these files. Now what I can do is, I can change the color of the smoke. Let us go to this material preview, and now actually color is 0.735. If I increase the saturation, I am getting a brownish colored smoke. If I change the hue of this color, I can get a greenish smoke, or I can change the color of this smoke. How you want to affect the smoke of this color, and if you want it light or dark. And now we are actually affecting the color. So let me reduce this saturation and 0.735. Then we can affect the density, how dense you want the OpenVDB file to be. It is now 1. If I tap 10, it's going to be even more denser. First of all, I want to show you the most creamiest thing here, temperature. If I increase the temperature to 5000 and get somewhere around here, you see that's where the explosion takes place. And let me go here and switch off the axis and switch off the floor, so we can only see the explosion. What I have actually done is, one more thing I want to clear it out. In the render engines, I have used cycles, I have used GPU and adaptive sampling, along with that denoising in the render, and I have selected optics, so that we could get a little bit of detail without getting bad effects. And for the sake of quality, I will sample this viewport at 16 frames, so it will be a little bit clear. Now this is an explosion, and we can see it from anywhere. And the great thing about OpenVDB files is that you can affect different part of the explosion, be it density. Let me show you. Instead of speaking, density, now it is 1. If I tap 10, it's going to be a dense cloud, it's going to be a black cloudy thing. If I keep density to 1, then the density will be less. Then the next important thing is emission strength, how bright you want the emission to be. Now it is 0. If I tap it 10, it's going to be very bright. Let me keep it at 1. It's going to be very bright, 0.1. It's still bright, so I'm going to keep it at 0. Emission strength, how bright you want the explosion to be. And then we have got this temperature, which defines how much fireish the explosion should be. So this temperature, I am going from 5000 to, let's see, 2500. Look, this is another kind of explosion which you can see. So these kind of explosions can be changed according to our interest, without going back to the softwares which have created those explosions or fire or tornado in the first place. So that's the great thing. And Blender supports OpenVDB files. And what you can do is, let me show you a little bit of what is VDB. If we go to this browser, let me go to this browser. I hope you are able to see it. Yes. In this browser, we have all these different files. What these files consist of is different layers of information in the form of a volume which has a data, and that data has a base. That's why it's open volume database, and we can change each and every parameter of this volume. Just like in Blender, I have changed the volume. Let me go to this data properties and then come over here in the grids, in the density. If I want it, I can see only the density part of the volume. Let me go to the point where it vanishes, somewhere around 100. Now we are only seeing the density of this volume database. If I click on flames, we are seeing flame part, but because these volume data are so integratedly kept, that's why we are not able to distinguish between both of those different parameters. And temperature is one thing that defines the fire, the main ingredient of the explosion. So what you need to remember about this is, when you bring an OpenVDB by going to add, going to volume, going to import, you need to go to the downloaded files, wherever the downloaded files are, and then select one of the files. A, to select all the sequence, OpenVDB to import it into the Blender, and then when you get it, reduce the size so that it won't boggle off your graphics card. And then what I have done is, I have gone and changed the render cycle to cycles, render engine to cycles, then taken the device as GPU, and in the viewport I have reduced this value so that it's a little bit faster. And then in adaptive sampling, I have ticked it on, and then in the denoising section I have rendered it in the viewport. Crashes, smoke, fire, explosion, water, splashes, waterfalls, something which can be simulated by computer, which can't be done by hand, those kind of files are called OpenVDB. And there are two softwares which are very good at OpenVDB files. One is Embergen, this Embergen software, which is very fast, and the other is Houdini software. So that's it for this, guys. If you like this video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and make sure that you subscribe. And if you want to personally support me, you can go on the Patreon page, links will be given in the description as well. And if you want to personally support me, Google Pay, Phone Pay, Paytm number are also given in the description as well. With that being said and done, try to see it, learn it, understand it. I will see you in the next video.